or vegetable juice. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe says it's going to go a long way in making the state healthy again. When you see news, call or text our tip line at 417-782-1310. For News Talk KZRG, I'm Ty Albright on KIX 102.5.
And highs are going to be up to around 41. Then tonight, partly cloudy with lows around 28. Saturday will be sunny, highs near 49 and lows around 14. And then on Sunday, highs near 28 and lows near 19. Supposed to get back into the mid-50s by next week. KIX 102.5 storm tracker radar is showing a few clouds over the 4 states. 34 in Grove, 30 in Carthage, and 31 in Joplin. To sign up for severe weather alerts, download the Zimmer Storm Center app. It's time now for the KIX Kids Pledge. It's being brought to you by Club Car Wash, with 3 new locations open now across the Joplin and Miami area. Check them out at clubcarwash.com. And today we are featuring Zaid from Baxter Springs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, Zaid. And if you'd like your kids to be on the KIX Kids Pledge, you can go to the KIX website, to the Morning KIX page. There's a button on there you can hit that'll tell you how to upload your audio. Got your chance to guess and win the Great Plains Federal Credit Union Secret Sound in just 15 minutes. Here's Megan Maroney on KIX 102.5. Morning, kids. I don't know what it is about getting close to the show like this, but it's like that's when the rate of falapartedness, which is a word, I think, and it comes from the Latin falapartius, it increases exponentially. So TikTok this morning, I looked over at TikTok, and they had done their little live, can't go live, check your network. Well, there's nothing wrong with their network. Everything else is working just fine. So it's just TikTok being stupid. And then, so you have to go through about 11 steps to restart the computer app for TikTok. I mean, it's inane. It's pedantic. And then it wants login information, which Jen has and I don't. So we're not going on TikTok today is what I'm trying to say. Heck with them. Unbelievable. I did get the video up, though. Floyd, did you see that? And it's on days, you know, when you're going to be working by yourself. I am going to move the chat up, at least on here. Where's one? So that does not bother me. Oh, wait. No, I don't want to do it that way. What I want to do. What do you do with a witch? What's this? Ta-da! More comments! And none of them have to do with TikTok. Isn't that great? Yay! And I can set this over here out of the way. How is everybody? Oh, wait. I just realized the problem with that. Yeah, okay. I'm not done. I can see them running off the screen. That's going to drive me insane. All right. Let's try 200. Nope. Let's try 300. Pretty close. It's like magic. Okay. It is cold out. It's going to be very cold tomorrow night. I mean, it's the kind of cold that you want to take some preparations for. Normally, I'm like, when they say, oh, it's in the 20s, whatever. But when you start getting down into single digits or close to that, and with the wind chill, we will well be into single digits. It's time to start making sure that you have your water faucets dripping, that sort of thing, at least your outside ones. Oh, Bryson. Thank you. Now, I don't know if I'll do that or not today. Because, I mean, it was a planned outage. You know what I'm saying? It was planned. We knew she wasn't going to be here today. Now, the morning kicks with Randy Brooks, because Jen is a big slacker, are the ones where she just bails on the show with no excuse. You know, she just, hey, surprise, not going to be here. I got to wash the ink out of my jeans today. Whatever. So I feel like, you know, since I did have at least some advance warning on this. Oh, by the way, guys, I got her something for Christmas. I'm going to give to her on Monday. I got her a Christmas present. I'm afraid to leave it in here, afraid something will happen to it. So I've got it back at my desk. And I don't even know if she's going to the Christmas party today. We're having our office Christmas party, our annual office Christmas party today. And they have the annual White Elephant gift exchange, which is ours is a little crazy. It notoriously comes down to weird and crazy gifts. They're the weirder, the better. So what I got, and you guys judge me on this, okay? Let me know how I did. I got a little desktop inflatey arms guy. You know, like the big giant ones you see at used car places. I got one that's about this big. He's bright fluorescent neon green, has eyes on and everything. But he sets up and just does the stuff on your desk. There's that. And then in addition to that is the People of Walmart coloring book. Right, Bryson? Somebody who gets a Christmas present for someone else. You wouldn't do that for a co-host, but you would for a friend. I wonder if she got me anything, Bryson. So, yeah, see, Sarah loves it. Jimmy likes it, which makes me question it, but still. People of Walmart coloring book and the little armsy guy. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be giving today. I don't know if Jen's going to be going to that or not. Maybe because she's pregnant and that whole thing. Maybe she's a little leery about going to the casino because of all the smoke and everything. You know, she might just be electing to bail on it. Yeah, but I got something she needs. I don't want to say what it is either for fear she might be watching, but KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen. It's going to be partly cloudy today. Highs are going to be around 41. We'll tell you how cold it's going to get over the weekend, though. You do know it's supposed to get down around 12, 13, 14 degrees Saturday night. And we'll tell you all about that with a look at the weather forecast in just 15 minutes. And we have your chance to guess and win the cash with the Great Plains Federal Credit Union Secret Sound in just 8 minutes. We've got $202.50 that could be yours if you can be caller number 5 at 720 and tell us what the sound is. Here's Russell Dickerson on KIX 102.5. Oh, I'm so out of air today. I slept on my back or something, woke up doing the thing, trying to clear my lungs. And I've got wheeziness because of that. I am so out of air. So I'm having to do that, and it's making my lips tingle. So if I just suddenly in the middle of conversation, whoo, that will be a show. Let me count these. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm working on phone calls. I think I'm about done. I'm not sure. Oh, also today, guys, we are scheduled to get a phone call from Santa Claus. So that's going to be pretty awesome. He's actually a fan of the show. So that's going to be happening, or at least it's planned to happen if everything goes the way it's supposed to. Planned to happen at 7:50. Planned, okay? Planned to happen at 7:50. The same way we plan for everything. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. That plus getting ready for vacation next week. I'm going to be gone from Tuesday. I'll be here Monday. Got to be here to give Jen her stinking present. And then on Tuesday, from Tuesday until the Friday after Christmas, I will be gone. And everybody's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? I'm like, none of your business and nothing. No, don't plan on going anywhere. I mean, we are for Christmas, but this is my recharge vacation where I'm just going to take some time and sit in a curled up ball in the corner and cry quietly to myself. You want to crash my Christmas? Do you know where it is, Bryson? And if you do, just shut up. If you do, then yeah, you should. Sure you will, Jimmy. I just want to contribute to the bloodstains on the wall. That's what I want to do. So the Christmas party that we do is at a casino, and the company gives us $100 in free play to go play with. And as you know, I've talked about in the past, I never, ever win with those. I'll put, they'll give me mine. I'll put it into the machine. I will bet, and I'm done. That's about as far as I go. It's all gone. So last year, I bet and it hit. And I'm like, what? And it's like, Jen's like, you just won $35. And I'm like, no way. So I bet again and it hit again. And then I bet again and it missed. But I didn't bet everything on those last two. I determined not to bet the money I'd win. So I ended up walking away with about $140. I bet all the money from the $100 free play and did not bet any of the winnings. Actually, you'd be surprised, Bryson. I know, let me see. Downstream will do Christmas parties. Indigo will do Christmas parties. Quapaw does Christmas parties. I don't know about Stables. I don't think Buffalo Run does. Or what's the W one? I keep wanting to say Windhaven. That's from a TV show. Wavemaster Casino. It's not Wave. What's the name of the one down in between Seneca and Miami? Same, Christy. Same. For years, I would never use my own money to bet with. I'd be like, well, I'm not stupid. Okay, let's restate that. I'm not that stupid. But when somebody would give me money or when I would get one of those free play things, well, yeah, heck yeah, I'll do that. But every time I just put it in, it'd just go, pew, gone. So I don't know what to expect today. And there's other people that say, well, you're doing it wrong. Well, you're betting the wrong amount. You're betting the wrong amount on the wrong machine. I don't know. I barely even know how they work. Yeah, Santa. You know what? I think it looks so much better with just the Facebook and YouTube on there. I mean, on TikTok, right? Wait, Christy, are you talking about casinos or are you talking about Thursday nights? Oh, is it time to go? Yes, it's 7:18. We're going to have to get rid of this song. And am I ready? Nope. Let's press all of the buttons. Let's do the preview. Secret sound. Which we got ready with our next two sounds yesterday. We picked out one of them. I was like, it's weird subject matter for a secret sound, I think. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 7:18. Somebody said, what, did Jen bail on you again today? Yes, she did, but it was planned. She took the day off, so it's not like normally where she just, doesn't show up or just calls in at, 6:20 or 15 or whatever and says, I'm not going to make it in today. So therefore, I'm still playing the liners that say Morning KIX with Randy and Jen. Not Morning KIX with Randy Brooks because Jen is a big slacker. I'm saving that for a day when it is warranted to use. So we'll take a look at the weather forecast in about 6 minutes. But right now, it is time to win some cash with the Great Plains Federal Credit Union Secret Sound. We've got $202.50 up for grabs. If you can be caller number 5 at 623-1025 and tell me, what is this sound? What is that? If you can tell me by being caller number 5 at 623-1025, you're going to win that $202.50 from the 4 states number 1 for cash. Christy, what do you mean you let the machine call your name? Like, Christy. Okay, time to answer the phone. Hi there, Morning Kicks. You're caller number 1. Hi, Morning Kinks. You're calling number 2. Hi, Morning Kinks. You are calling number 3.
No.
Hurry, Christine. Hi, Morning Kinks. You are caller number 4. Hi there, Morning Kinks. Who is this? Chelsea, where are you from? Chelsea from Neosho. You are caller number 5. Woohoo! All right, Chelsea, we've got $202.50 that could be yours if you can tell me, what is this sound? I can't hear you. Could you get a little closer to your phone or? Again, I can't hear you. You're going to have to hurry and get this fixed or I'll have to go to another caller. I've only got about 20 more seconds.
I'm sorry. Is it wrestling around in a utensil drawer?
She says wrestling around in a utensil drawer for $202.50. That is... Oh, not it, Chelsea.
All right. Thank you.
We're going to put another $25 in the jackpot, making it $227.50, and give you another chance to guess Monday morning at 7:20.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thanks, Chelsea. Your Bluetooth sucks. We all know this. Wow. I mean, 3 times.
I'm sorry. Is it wrestling? Is it?
Could not hear her. Oh, not it, Chelsea.
All right. Thanks.
We're going to put another 25. I think I'm out of time. No, I got one more.
Okay.
Because of our Bluetooth. Do not use your Bluetooth. I'm wondering, could I do a song parody about how awful your Bluetooth sounds on the radio? And get people, do like a campaign to get people on board with not calling a radio station on Bluetooth. Or at least realizing that when you do, it's going to suck. KIX 102.5, the 4 states number 1 for cash, and we're looking for caller number 5 to guess and win the Great Plains Federal Credit Union secret sound. Chelsea from Neosho, you are caller number 5. All right, Chelsea, we've got $202.50 that could be yours if you can tell me, what is this sound?
Is it wrestling around in a utensil drawer?
She says wrestling around in a utensil drawer for $202.50. That is... Oh, not it, Chelsea.
All right.
We're going to put another $25 in the jackpot, making it $227.50, and give you another chance to guess Monday morning at 7:20.
Perfect.
Okay. Let's fill this out. Because oftentimes we forget what the amount is between Friday and Monday. So. Turn off your Bluetooth. You know why Bluetooth sucks so bad, Bryson? Engineers. Yeah, I couldn't understand her at all until she took it off Bluetooth. The problem with Bluetooth systems is a lot of them are inferior because of where the microphone's placed. So if you get an aftermarket stereo system put in your car, a lot of the installers will try to put the microphone out of sight somewhere. The only good place to put a Bluetooth mic is in that rail that goes up and down on your windshield, right up there at the top of that, right next to the driver. It's the only good place. And then there are cars whose genius engineers have mounted them over here or over there or back out in the barn somewhere to where they can't pick up the driver's voice. If they're not right in front of them, the smartest one I ever saw was on a BMW, and they had the Bluetooth microphone right in the front of the steering wheel. And you know what? Sounded like they were using their phone. And then another problem. So these Genius phone systems have what's called a mix-minus system. And a mix-minus system eliminates caller noise and amplifies the person's, or caller volume and amplifies the person's volume. So turns you up, turns that down. So if someone's talking on the phone and it's coming over the speaker, rather than duplicating it and creating feedback, it eliminates that using phase reversal and eliminates the sound from the volume of the call and amplifies that voice. However, if you turn up your speaker in your car so loud because you're deaf and 93 years old, Grandma, then it overpowers the volume from the person who's making the call. That didn't make any sense at all, did it? Hi there, Morning Kicks. Hello? Yeah, what the heck, Christine? Why would you want to be caller number 3?
I don't know.
I don't understand this at all. You do know it's supposed to be caller number 5, right?
Right.
Right.
And I want to give you my guess.
Your what? Oh, your guess. Okay. Well, you got a new one, I'm assuming.
No.
Well, you told us the one the other day.
I know. I know it's not the one that I would have guessed.
Okay, what do you think it is? I'm turning the mic off. Okay, there. I can't, comment yes or no on that, but there's your guess.
But my funny guess is.
Yeah, I remember that from the other day, but the other one is the one that you're going to actually guess if you get through and can be caller number 5, right?
Right.
Right. Well, I think that's the whole trick here, Christine, is you really ought to be caller number 5 instead of 3.
Well, I tried.
Yes, but it's kind of like what?
Caller number 3 sucks because you don't have enough time to get back in the rhythm of being a call.
You know what else? Caller number 4 sucks too. It may be even worse than being caller number 3.
Oh, I've been caller number 4 plenty of times.
It makes you want to, stab somewhere.
Yes. It makes me wish I had 2 phones.
Mm-hmm. What a great idea. Oh my gosh, if you had a landline and a cell phone, 2 phones, could you imagine? That is a great, I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Sometimes I think of things because there's nothing else in my brain.
Well, maybe you'll get something in there this weekend. Have a great one.
All right.
Catch you later. Okay, I'm finally getting around to seeing you guys' recommendation on the machines and stuff. Bryson says he always plays Vici Tees, bet on the small diamond, kite, or open diamond pattern, bet on the blah, 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 blah. What? Bet on 3, 6s, and 7s in the pattern. I have no idea what you mean. And he also said Indigo, River Bend, Downstream are the only 3 that have banquets department. Quapaw won't because they are under construction. Actually, they will. If they already had it on the books. There's a reason I know, Bryson. Can't be too hard to estimate. Indigo, River Bend. Yeah, what is that the name? What's the one in between Miami and Seneca. I know there's Indigo, but the one that's over closer to Miami over there. I was at its grand opening, and I cannot remember the name. It was something started with a W, and they may have changed the name of it. Riverbend is not it. High Winds. Is it High Winds? Yeah, it's High Winds Casino is what I was thinking. High Winds. Outpost. There would be a party, wouldn't there? Sarah's going to be at the East Newton United Holiday Market in Granby, a fundraiser for the organization that helps students in need. Is that today? When? You didn't say when, Sarah. Why is it Wyandotte? Maybe it was Wyandotte. No, it wasn't Wyandotte. It's High Winds that I was thinking of. Wyandotte is over there, yes. But High Winds is what I was thinking of. I sat one time with, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to remember his name. He was the guy, you guys remember the band Little Texas? He was the former lead singer of Little Texas. And somebody called me, a buddy of mine said, hey, this dude, and I can't remember his name, he was the long-haired one, is going to be here, and he's got his acoustic with him, and the casino has said, hey, you guys can set up over here in the restaurant area and just jam. And I went down and spent the Sunday afternoon playing music with him. It was just us guys sitting around with acoustic guitars playing, sitting on bar stools. It was really informal. I mean, literally, we got bar stools, got the guitars out, set up and played. They're having beers while this is happening, and people are just sitting around watching, listening, saying, hey, can you play this? You know, and stuff. It was really, really cool. Yes, that's the one, Bryson, that we were at, was at High Winds. And that's the one I remember the grand opening for. KIX 102.5, the 4 states, #1 for country. Just because she's got the day off doesn't mean she gets away without being assigned a movie for Jen's Movie Rehab. We'll do that after John Party on KIX. No, not Tim Rushlow. Hold on. He's the one that sang My Love. I remember that. Brady Seals. Brady Seals is who it was. And he had a brief little bitty solo career after Little Texas. I guess they had a falling out along the way. But Brady Seals, we spent the whole afternoon just playing guitars and him singing, and it was a lot of fun. No, Tim Rushlow was in Little Texas. You did have that name right. I remember Tim. I met all of them at different times, over the years, but with Brady, that's the only time I ever got to, sit and actually hang out and spend some time. It wasn't just me either. It was a whole bunch of people sitting there spending time with, I think like 25, 30 of us. I say a whole bunch of people. That was just kind of cool. How many more? Holy cow, we got 51 comments on the ink stain yesterday. Somebody said, that's a big spot. What the heck, Randy? We may have to revisit that next year. Somebody went on and edited out the spot and said, I fixed it. Oh, that is hilarious. So, where we at? My Magnum Sharpie, it was just, it fell off a while ago when I hit the counter. Hold on. right there. However, I will not be sniffing it today. I have learned my lesson. I am off this at least until next week. Yesterday, I began itching, and it felt like there were small, furry woodland creatures crawling on my shoulders, or at least I had that impression. Hold on. KIX 102.5, the 4 states number 1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 734. It is going to be kind of cloudy today. We should see decreasing clouds this afternoon. Highs around 41. Supposed to get really cold. Of course, everybody's talking about that on Saturday night. Going to be dropping down into the lower teens. So we'll tell you all about that in about 25 minutes, along with 4 states news. And in the next hour, going to be talking about the funniest or weirdest thing you've ever heard a kid say, whether it was your kid or someone else's. First off, what are you doing with someone else's kid? No, that's not what we mean. What is the weirdest or funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say? You can tell us at 623-1025 or tell us on Facebook. But even though she has taken the day off, it is Friday, which means it's time for another assignment for Movie Rehab. And this is where we assigned Jen a movie to watch over the weekend, because before she had come to KIX, she had seen few, if any, movies. And I don't know what, maybe some sort of religious cult or thing she belonged to over there in Kansas or whatever. Anyway, we would make movie references all the time because they're a big part of our life, and she wouldn't get them. She would just sit there cross-eyed and growing hair on her face. And so we decided to rehabilitate her by assigning her a different movie to watch every weekend. And she does that. She goes home, watches it, comes back, and gives us a score on what she thought about it between 1 and 10. And it's usually one that we've all already seen. So I'm going to call her, see if I can get her to answer the phone. She's got the weirdest phone number, too. Look at this. Like 20 phone numbers on here. I don't even know what. Okay, one. There we go.
Hello, welcome to the Gen Fox Network. You must be 18 or older to party.
What?
$4 for the first minute, $3.99 after that. What a deal.
What the heck is happening with our phone call?
Hello?
Hey, I got a question. What the heck is up with your phone system? What is that?
About?
The whole
Randy,
message thing there. That
why are you calling me? It's my day off.
Well, because you have to have your movie assignment for Jen's movie Rehab, of course. You didn't think you were going to get out of that, did you?
I mean, I figured I'd just watch
Goodwill Hunting. Yeah, you're not going to watch Goodwill Hunting. Instead, you're going to be watching the 1954 Christmas classic, White Christmas.
Oh, boy.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
I didn't think you had. It stars Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Ellen.
Bing Crosby, the Christmas singer, he's in this movie?
Yeah, the song that you know him for, the I'm Dreaming of a White...
Yeah, I love that song.
It's the theme song from the movie. Actually, it's the theme song from another movie, too, Holiday Inn, which is much older, but this is the better version of it.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
It features other songs from Irving Berlin, who also wrote the version of White Christmas there, introduced by Crosby in the 1942 film Holiday Inn. Bob Wallace and Phil Davis, two Army buddies, become a top-notch musical comedy team after the war and are now the toast of Broadway. So the story is, while they're on the road in Florida, they become involved with two aspiring singers. It's a sister act of Betty and Judy, and despite some romantic complications between the couples, everything ends in a happy note when Christmas Eve brings rave reviews for the show and much-needed snowfall.
Sounds like a good Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's notable for being the first movie to be released in VistaVision, which is a widescreen process that was really bogus, developed by Paramount, entailed using twice the surface area of standard 35mm film, so it was also used to yield a finer grain, standard size 35mm print. It earned $12 million in the theatrical rentals, equal to about $140 million today, making it the highest grossing film of that year. It was also the highest grossing musical film at the time and ranks among the top 100 popular movies of all time. But it only has a 6.6 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a shame. It sounds like a great Christmas movie. Is it one I can watch with the kids, though?
Oh, absolutely. It's rated G, and you can find it for free on most streaming platforms or pay for it on Fandango, Apple, or a couple of others that will charge you for it. You can't find it for free.
All right. I'm going to go back to sleep Okay.
Just don't forget to watch White Christmas this weekend.
I'll let you know I think about it on Monday.
On Jen's Movie Rehab.
On KIX 102.5.
All right, there we go. White Christmas is her assignment, yeah. Yeah, I went to a Sharpie Sniffers Anonymous meeting, and I'll be like, hi, my name's Randy, and I sniff Sharpies, and they all go, hi, Randy. It's been 52 hours since I last sniffed a Sharpie. You've never seen, Christy, you've never seen White Christmas? So you remember the rant? I forgot to mention this, and I felt like afterwards, I kind of dropped the ball there. You remember in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation where Clark is having his rant, and he goes, we're going to be happier than Danny Kaye. It's whatever. Danny Kaye is the actor that's in this movie. And here's the whole thing about Danny Kaye. Danny Kaye was a part of a huge Hollywood scandal. So he was one of these classic, well-known top A-list actors in Hollywood at the time that this came out in the early 50s. However, he was also very, very, very gay. But it was not allowed to be known at that time. So I think Danny even had a wife, a beard, shall you call it, to help cover that up. So you watch him in any movie and you're like, oh yeah, that's like Liberace's twin brother. You know, he's that way. But yes, a Magnum Sharpie. But it was very hush-hush at the time. And I remember my mama explained all this to me one year. I was watching some movie with Danny Kaye, and she said, you know, he's homosexual. And I was like, what? I was like, they did that back then? She goes, yeah, it was just a lot quieter, you know. Wouldn't that be nice, Greg? You know where we could go to get a 75-degree Christmas? Mexico! Feliz Navidad! I bet they have much better Christmases in Mexico. So every time I see any old movie with Danny Kaye, what is the Clark Griswold? Christmas rant. So he says, we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. Yeah, that was the whole deal. That's in reference to White Christmas, which is so well known that he doesn't have to mention the movie, just the actors that were in it. Happiest. Love that. Don't drink. Yeah, that's what I hear. I never have drunk the water in Mexico. And nobody does. It's bottled water everywhere. Now, if you look on the side of the bottled water, it says bottled in, and then the nearby Mexican town of Tulum or bottled in Cancun. And you know what they're doing? There's these Mexican guys in the back wearing sombreros, and they're sitting under a water faucet in the bathroom, and they're filling up these water bottles, sealing them, putting them on the assembly line for you to drink later. Oh, I would too. Okay, so we got to figuring it up yesterday. And again, I know we talked a little bit about this. So the vacation that we are taking in May, and I really want you guys to think about the last vacation you took, okay? How much would you say you spent each day? I'm talking gas, food, accommodations, and entertainment. How much would you say, not for a person, but overall, how much did you spend in a 24-hour period on average over a week? Last week-long vacation that you took somewhere. Might have been 5 years ago. I don't care. How much did you spend? Anybody? Because, and I started doing this yesterday. We were trying to figure this out. But for the trip that we're taking in May, right, Shiala? But didn't you take a great long one, like a year-long one to California just recently? Yeah, I know. Greg and Candace, for their honeymoon, they went to Florida, to Destin, and they took a whole bunch of friends with them, and it was kind of a collective thing. So they pooled all their money together so they could afford a condo. But what would you say? I know you guys did a couple of fishing excursions. There were other things like that you guys did, Greg. How much would you say it cost, especially in Destin? So this is a great comparison because we used to vacation in Destin every single year, so I know what it costs to go to Destin. So Christy says Chad and her spend $100 on just their food alone. That's very easy because you think there's 3 meals. Would you say you spend at least $25 for each one of those meals total? Yeah. I mean, how can you eat somewhere besides McDonald's, even McDonald's, for $25 or less? So there's $75 right there, right? And then how much is it going to cost for even a basic motel? Not a hotel, basic. I mean, it's going to be around $100, right? Let's even say another $75, just to be conservative. Right there, we're at $150, right? Okay, now you've got gas, you've got transportation costs. Tell you the last true vacation. Cattle shows. Yeah, Bryson, that creates all sort of animal husbandry confusion. You need a break. So let's say you're going to spend, how much will you spend on gas? Even if you're just driving locally, let's not figure the trip that it took to get there. But let's say you're just driving locally. Okay, I'm really helping Greg shift his perspective about this too. Because would you say you spend $30 a day? So now we're up to $180, right? And we've done nothing. We've not had any entertainment. But let's say another $25 in that. Okay, so we're $175 plus 25. We're now over $200 a day. And you had to drive to get there. You had to deal with traffic. You had to deal with crowds. You had to go eat somewhere. We're talking subpar food. We're thinking McDonald's. We're basically surviving, and that's it. Not having a good time. And we've done nothing entertainment-based. All right? So over $200 a day, which times 5 is going to cost you, I mean, if you're doing 200 times 5, it's going to cost you $1,000 for the week, right? And if times 7, so that ain't right. That ain't right. What am I misfiguring here? 2 times 7, 1,400. That's $1,400 for the week. And that's with nothing else. So it is per person. So we got to figuring up yesterday, and the trip to Mexico is only about $160 a day. It's way cheaper than that, and it's all inclusive. Everything is paid for. All drinks, all food, all tax, all tips, all gratuities. Everything's paid for. My wife is correcting me. Nope. And airfare's included with that. It's like a no-brainer. Somebody's asking my email. I don't know who it is, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. I do know who it is. I'm kidding. And this is what it costs. I mean, we got the honeymoon suite for that. And with a swim-up pool. I had a picture of it pulled up last night that I had not yet seen of our room that I thought was really, really good. And I apparently have lost it. So, this is looking from the veranda. Oh, you can't see it. Stupid phone. Let me turn this down. So, there is a swim-up pool right outside there. I'm trying to get it to focus. So from the veranda, you can literally go out. There is a swim-up pool for every single floor, for every room on every floor. It's awesome. Rough estimate, Shiala, was $160 a day. It's $3,600 total for everything. KIX 102.5, the 4 states number 1 per country. 36. And, you're like, well, I can't justify that kind of expense. How can you not justify that kind of expense? These are formative times in your kid's life. You work hard. Every single one of us work hard. I want to take a moment to campaign to petition for time off for quality vacation time. Too many times people think, well, I've got more important things that I'm working towards. Are you kidding me? What is your ultimate goal here? Well, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Aren't we all working so that we can enjoy time with our family, doing things that we really like, enjoying things that we really like? Isn't that the whole point to all of this? To what you do, to Bryson, to owning cattle and paying for that? Surely it's not for the experience of working, but we all work so that we can enjoy these things, to build memories, to take photos, to spend time together. That ought to be your number 1 priority, especially while you have kids, Greg and others. While you have kids, you should be building memories with them. I never got to take Candace. I took her on vacations, but I never got to take her to the ocean. She had made dumb decisions and left before that happened. So, I regret. And I get to see her doing things now with her family, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have done that with her, but those times are gone. You only have this long to take advantage of that stuff. You better be doing it. Bryson, don't point out that I'm campaigning for a lot. That's an ongoing campaign, the Bluetooth thing. I think everybody ought to prioritize their vacation time, not just taking. Shut up, Megan. Hey, by the way, I have another GoPro camera saved in my Amazon list if anybody wants to get it for me. It's not a GoPro. It's a knockoff GoPro. I can't afford a GoPro, but I found a good cheap one that I plan to lose this time when we go back to Mexico. Actually, we're not going to be going to that park where you drive the 4-wheel drive things through the jungle. Dang it. Gina's too afraid of the zip lines. She will not go back to the zip line park. GoPro. KIX 102.5, the 4 states number 1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 7:52. It's going to be a little cloudy today, but that's going to decrease as the afternoon rolls on. Highs around 41, and it's 31 in Joplin. We'll give you a look at the weather forecast and 4 states news in the next hour. Plus, we're going to be talking about the weirdest or strangest thing that you've ever heard a kid say with no context whatsoever. One of the weirdest ones I've ever heard. I'll never forget standing in line at a Walmart, and a lady and her son are up in front of me, about 2 people in front of me. And the little boy, of course, is full of energy, and he won't quit messing with stuff, and he's knocked something down off the little impulse buy shelves there. And the mother turns around and grabs him by the arm, and she leans down. She goes, "If you don't stop, you're never going to be a real boy." And then they checked out and they were gone. And I never could figure out I know it wasn't the kid that said it, but still, that bothers the heck out of me. I lay awake some nights going, what did she mean? Anyway, we're going to be talking about the weirdest thing you've ever heard a kid say in the next hour. But first, did you realize that we are now less than 2 weeks away from the big day? That's right. Christmas will be a week after next Thursday. So if you've not got your holiday shopping and all your Christmas planning done, you need to step it up, mister. In fact, part of our annual tradition is we always take a phone call from Santa to check in with him to see how his holiday Christmas plans are going, because he's a huge fan of Morning KIX and of KIX 102.5. He listens on the app all the way at the North Pole. So here he is. Oh, they're letting me know he is on the phone right now. Hi there, Santa. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Santa?
Hi. Oh, I mean, ho, ho, ho. Hey, it's Santa. Santa Claus here. How you doing?
I'm fine, Santa. How are you? Are you ready for Christmas?
Well, you know, it's getting on to that time when we got to start thinking about this Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we got to gear up for here at the North Pole. And,
right.
Well, look, I just wanted to check in and make sure with everybody that we're all on board. We definitely all want to do this whole thing again this year. Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, with the good list and the bad list and getting out the decorations and putting up a tree and the lights and the shopping and the crowds and the Christmas carols. Hey, you know, let me ask you something. You folks honestly like hearing these same songs year after year after year?
Yeah.
Jingle bells, deck the halls, chestnuts, roasting on and on. Hey, does anybody really roast chestnuts? Hey, you know, somebody ought to come up with some sort of chestnut roasting gizmo. Hey, I know George Foreman. Yeah, a George Foreman lean, mean tabletop chestnut roasting machine.
It's a great idea.
Probably make a fortune.
Right.
Hey, I want a cut of that, by the way, George, if you go through with that idea, because I thought of that just now. Don't forget, I know where you live, George. Okay, so anyway, we're definitely on for Christmas again this year, yeah? And nobody wants to just give it a rest, huh?
No, Santa, we got definitely, we got to do it.
Well, ho-ho, I got a lot of work to do between now and then, so I better sign off. All right, we'll talk to you again soon, and everybody be good, because I'm watching. Ho-ho-ho. You know, is it right that I'm peeping on everybody like this?
It's allowed,
It just
Santa.
doesn't feel like proper behavior for an old man.
No, it's allowed.
Or for anybody, really.
Right.
Well, never mind. Okay, then. So long. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know. He seems a little... Really? We really want to do this again this year? Well, not necessarily grumpy. I'm sure that's not Major Jimmy. He just sounds like, you guys still on board with this? Santa needs a beer, or Valium, maybe. Well, can you blame him? I mean, you think our stress levels are high? Imagine his stress levels. Bye, Shiala. Okay. I have not got all of my phone calls ready yet. I've got a number of them. I say a number because I can't remember how many I actually did. I think this one maybe. What the heck? Did she know? Okay, that one is done. I think I've got enough.
I'm telling you to stop being mean.
Nope.
What's ironic about this is that when you ladies get older, you all do the same thing. Same thing.
Okay. Let's turn this down. I think I've got enough that I can just call it good. Wait a minute. Let's get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's a 11, 12. I got plenty. I don't have to do the rest of them. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Which is great because I have got so much to do today and so little time to do it in. I've got to get ready for all the weekend stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have left to do. So ignore what I said. I think I've got everything else taken care of. Last night it was okay. Boy, do they have big... Christy, if I read your statement... Oh, Chili's. Okay. Or are you talking Breaktown? Because all I read, Christy, on your statement is, last night it was okay. Boy, do they have big... And then the little emoji. So out of context, that's weird. Oh, thank you, Megan. Thank you. Gosh. How do you remember all this? Are you on Adderall? Emoji. I want the one where it's like going. And of course, can't find that one. There it is. Done. No prescriptions, just broccoli, she says. Yes, she is. El Caballo? Where's El Caballo? It's probably only exists on the astral plane she lives on. You went to... I also, yesterday, I heard the doorbell or our door notification thing. The camera will let us know when there's someone in its zone. You know, when it sees someone, it does a little chime thing that is different from the doorbell chime. So I hear that, and of course, Bella, it's the only time she ever barks is when someone's at the door. And it's not a bark, hey, get off my property. It's a bark, yay, someone's here, please rescue me. That kind of bark. So she did her bark, so I went to the door to check, and sure enough, there were a couple of Amazon packages there, but there was also a great big air conditioning box. It was a box for a window unit air conditioner. And I'm like, did my wife order a window unit air conditioner? What's up? Hey, good morning. Morning. She's back on Monday, and she'll be back all week, but I'm gone all next week. When does it start? Well, there's none scheduled for today. Yeah, they don't start till Monday. We could record it early Monday morning. I'll be here Monday. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do it on Monday. Okay, doke. Later. Sorry. New endorsement copy, of course, last minute, typical. Oh my gosh, we've got to go. We're running late for the news. There we go. Barely caught that. So anyway, yeah, in the box, my first thought is, oh no, they've delivered something to our house by mistake. Because it just looked like it had the picture on the outside of the box and everything. So I get it in, and I look, and I see my address, and I see it's from a friend of mine, and I'm like, okay, he has shipped me a Christmas gift in an air conditioning window unit box. And that's sure enough what he had done. When I opened it up, inside was a Christmas present wrapped up. But there for a few minutes, I thought, in fact, I went back on the phone. So, I went back on the phone and checked the UPS. You know, they send you a text saying they've delivered to your house. And I'm like, is this really for me? But I begin to realize, yes, it is. And morning, Dustin. Hold on. Time for the weather. It's getting ready to get worse, Greg.
Call or text our tip line at 417-782-1310 for News Talk KZRG. I'm Ty Albright on KIX 102.5.
Going to see decreasing clouds throughout the day today with a high near 41 and lows down around 28 tonight. And then on Saturday, it's supposed to get up near 50 and be sunny. But then that night, it's going to be cold. Down around the lower teens with partly cloudy skies. And then on Sunday, sunny with a high near 28 and lows around 19. Monday, we'll see highs back into the mid-40s and maybe even the mid-50s by Tuesday. KIX 102.5 storm tracker radar is just showing clouds over the 4 states. 39 in Grove, 30 in Pittsburgh, and 30 in Joplin. To sign up for severe weather alerts, download the Zimmer Storm Center app. So today we're wanting to know, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say, whether it was your kid or somebody else's kid? 623-1025, totally out of context. What's the weirdest or strangest thing you've ever heard a kid say? Here's Morgan Wallen on the 4 states #1 for country, KIX 102.5. Yeah, it's getting ready to get colder. I was trying to look over here and see if Saturday night, if it's going to be a wind thing. They're saying wind chill values as low. Wait, where is it? Wind chill values as low as 2 degrees Saturday night. I got an idea. Let's just stay in Saturday night. Don't go anywhere. Wind chill values on Saturday as low as 23 early, but then that night, because winds are going to be around 15 mile an hour with 21 mile an hour gusts, so not stupid wind levels, especially for as close as we live to Kansas. But it is going to make the temperature factor that much colder. Freezing, yes. No, maybe where you are, Dustin, not here. Sunday, it's going to begin to warm up again. So for Sunday, it'll be mid-20s and down around 19 Sunday night. And then it's part of that warming trend. The lowest temperature will be on Saturday night, lower teens. No sub-zero temperatures. Oh, look at this. Resident Evil 4 is on sale. That's on my wish list. Don't I have this already? I'm pretty sure I own this already. No, I don't guess I do. I don't know that I want it, though. It's an old game. I do plan to play video games. Not Indiana Jones, though. Stupid. On my time off. Really? That's one of the main reasons that and work. I went deer hunting it was kind of like a requirement when I was growing up. You had to get a deer or else you were going to be in trouble with the man. At least one. You better get 3. We had a way you could get 3 different ones. We'd apply for a doe tag, which you had to do back then. And then we could shoot a secondary deer on the buck tag. And then you could do a farm tag deer on your own property. So Dad, if you got 1 deer or 2 deer, that wasn't enough. You had to then try to get the 3rd deer. Oh, the one was bow hunting. Yeah. But I once started in radio. That all went because I was out every morning, and I tried to go the first 2 years I worked in radio in the evening and would immediately fall asleep out in the woods. So that I was like, this is stupid. I could be doing this at home. That, and because it's so freaking cold most years. Dip your sinks, drip your sinks. That's a good idea, especially if you have water pipes in your ceilings where the cold air can get to, or if you've got ventilated crawl space with your pipes down there, you better be dripping your water faucets. Yeah, it might be cold enough. I mean, 12 degrees is where you begin to get into the threat of frozen water pipes. And if you do freeze your water pipes, we all know what to do, right? Just turn on all your faucets in the house until they thaw. That'll keep them from busting. Yep, that's when they move. They're trying to keep warm. I used to bow hunt with a recurve. Last weekend for Kansas rifle season. I'm not sure when the last weekend is in Missouri, or is it the rifle season already over? KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 8:11. It's going to be partly cloudy today. Highs around 41. It's going to get really cold on Saturday night, and we'll give you a complete look at the weather forecast in about 15 minutes. 30 right now in Joplin. But we're talking today about the weirdest or strangest thing that you've ever heard a kid say out of context. I'll never forget, we started going, when we first moved to this area, we started going to a church, and we'd have to get there early because they had me playing with the band and everything, but we'd get there early for rehearsal, so we'd take my youngest daughter, who at the time was only about 4 years old, take her to the kids area where she could play with toys in there quietly by herself. Well, one time the pastor's wife stepped by looking for someone, looked in the door, and saw my daughter sitting in there by herself, and she said, "Well, where did you come from?" And my daughter immediately said, "My mother's womb," without looking up. 4-year-old. So, yeah, something like that. What is the strangest or weirdest thing you've ever heard a kid say? 623-1025 to text or tell us on Facebook. Here's Ella Langley on KIX 102.5. True story. That's my kid. That's Lauren. Greg will attest to that fact. She's that whoop, whoop, whoop out there. I blame her mother. Doe season with the rifle goes until December 14th. Okay, so it'll be over by this weekend. So I don't know if any of you guys listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, which is hit and miss at best. But Jelly Roll was on there the other day, and he got into his big weight loss that he's gone through. And I don't know if you've seen pictures of Jelly Roll recently, but holy cow, looks like a totally different person. I forget how much weight he's lost, but he said his surgeon said he has 35 pounds of extra skin on him that needs to be removed, just hanging. Could you imagine, like, riding in the back of a pickup truck and all that? This would be like extra mud flaps. He said, somebody said, "Doesn't that hurt?" And he said, "Not as bad as the 500 pounds that was hanging." He's lost 500. Surely he's not lost that much. He says he is getting ready to get surgery to address the extra skin because he said it's getting in the way of daily functions, which I don't want to even try to speculate what that means. I imagine that he's talking about, like when he gets out of the shower and there's all this extra surface that he has to dry with a towel. I mean, all the crevices you got to get dry and everything. It must take hours just to dry. And if he goes outside in a windy day shirtless, nobody can hear anything because of all the flapping. People start saluting because they think there's a flag nearby. And he's literally going to walk into the doctor's office and say, hey, cut me some slack. Flapping in the wind. You imagine on a sailboat? Right, Stephen? Where is Jen? She's not here, Stephen. That much is obvious. No, she took the day off. Right? I heard about that, Bryson. I think it very justified. He does look a lot different. Ozempic was, I know, a part of his diet regimen, but there's been a lot of other things. Let me see. Let me see how much weight he's lost. He has lost over 300 pounds. His highest weight was around 540 pounds. That's what he got up to. That's half a ton, guys. Holy cow. He has lost over 300 pounds. He's now down under 300. He's been training for 5Ks. That to me is that's mind-blowing. So impressive. I mean, we admire people who attain world records and sports records and things like that. That is a real hurdle that he's overcome. I mean, think how long it took. Wow. I'm trying to see. Down to around 280. Says he's not done yet either. That's really, really amazing. Well, this says over 300 here. So maybe he's lost more since then. I don't know. It's crazy. I admire that so much. I think that's really impressive. I don't know that I would be capable of doing that. Should we go 17, 18? Yeah, we're going to go. Did you guys hear they have banned social media in Australia for anyone under the age of 16? Totally banned it. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. KIX 102.5, the 4 states, #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 8:18. It's going to be a little cloudy today with highs around 41. Supposed to get out into the lower teens Saturday night, and we'll tell you more about that with a look at the forecast in about 7 minutes. But we're talking today about the weirdest or strangest thing that you've ever heard a kid say out of context. Your kid, someone else's kid, whatever. Because kids say the darndest things, all that. What's the strangest, weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say for whatever reason?
My daughter has very long hair, and I was brushing her hair, and she's moving all around and squirming, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you moving around so much? And without missing anything, she's like, because, Mom, of your medieval hair brushing skills.
Savage!
I about died laughing.
Where did she even hear that?
I have no idea to this day.
Medieval hairbrushing skills. You torture master. What's the weirdest or strangest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
It wasn't funny. It was just strange. My daughter is too. We had a full-size mirror in the room we were staying in. I wake up one morning and she's slamming her hands against the mirror and she's saying, "Stop being mean. Don't be mean." Just keeps hitting the mirror and telling it to stop being mean. Watched her do this for about 10 minutes, and I have no idea how long she was doing it before I woke up. Needless to say, we got the mirror out of my room. Yeah, exactly.
What's ironic about this is that when you ladies get older, you all do the same thing. Standing in front of the mirror, saying the same thing. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say out of context?
Well, it was my granddaughter, and she was spending the night with me, and I kissed her goodnight, and she rolled over and looked at me and said, "Nana, please don't go to heaven tonight."
Whoa! What the heck? Did she know something you didn't?
I was afraid she might.
I mean, you're still with us, so obviously she didn't. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say, or funniest thing?
My daughter, at about age 8, was being a little bit sassy, and I told her to go to her room until she could stop being sassy. And she put both of her hands on her little hips and said to me, "Mommy, you have to be nice to me. It's in the Constitution of Independence," and then stomped to her room.
Oh, there is a future politician. What's the weirdest or funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say? How can you be mad at them when they've said something like that, right? I mean, it's hard not to laugh when you're trying to be severe. The weirdest or funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say. You can text or tell us yours at 623-1025 or tell us on Facebook. It's the 4 states #1 for country. It's in the Constitution of Independence. Right, it does. I mean, huge lifestyle change. You think about the biggest events or things that's happened in your life. And you got to admit, Jelly Roll has had a lot. Prison, all of that whole history there. Then becoming a successful country music star. That's big. But I would put forward that this has got to be bigger than either one of those. And that's saying a lot. Hi there, Morning Kicks. What is the funniest or weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say?
Well, us feral kids back from about the 1970s, my cousin went to the first day of kindergarten. Teacher said, "Mike, do you know how to spell your name?" And he said, "My God, lady, I've only been here 10 minutes."
What sort of expectations did she have? I would have put it right back at her, said, "No, you've not been doing your job." Thanks for calling.
You bet you. Thank you.
I think I can use that.
Well, us feral kids back from about the 1970s, my cousin went to the first day of kindergarten. Teacher said, "Mike, do you know how to spell your name?" And he said, "My God, 10 minutes."
What sort of expectations did she have? I would have put it right back at her, said, "No, you've not been doing your job." What sort of doing your job? I remember my niece when I was, well, that's not going to work. When I was a little, holy cow, that's loud. When I was younger, we had gone out to eat with my sister, and her daughter, my niece, was sitting on my father's lap, her pawpaw, she called him. And her dad leaned over and said, "What do you think of your pawpaw?" And she looked right back at him and said, "He's dainty," which is ridiculous. And my mama looked over and went she goes, "Huh, yeah, like a pickup truck." Just as quick. He's dainty. No idea where she got that. Oh, Banivator. block. Yes, mics are off air, Megan. Good check, though. Yeah, the skin removal, because they don't just do it in one area. They do it all over. You know, I mean, there's places under here that they'll have to cut off, over here. Sometimes they do the back of the thighs and under the arms and stuff. I mean, you talk about miserable. Imagine having almost half your skin cut off. It sounds medieval. All right, let's see what's going to be on TV this weekend, kids. Is there anything? We're in this zone, the Christmas zone, where there is notoriously nothing good on streaming or on television. It's like everybody takes a big old break right during the holiday season, which is when you really need stuff to watch on TV because you're taking a break during the holiday season. But they realize this. You're going to have to watch something, so they don't have to really put anything on there. So on Netflix, Man vs. Baby. This actually launched last night. It's Rowan Atkinson. It's a 4-episode series as his character Trevor Bingley from Man vs. Bee. I don't know if you watched that. This time he's looking after a baby while house-sitting a luxury London penthouse. I watched the first 2 episodes of this last night before bedtime. It's all right. I mean, it's Rowan Atkinson. You know, Mr. Bean, that guy. Only he talks. He didn't when he was Mr. Bean, and I like him better when he doesn't talk, but it's okay. Get ready to suspend a lot of belief and everything. It's just silly, funny. Disney Plus has the End of an Era docuseries about Taylor Swift. Oh, now this might be good. Netflix has Wake Up Dead Man, and it's one of these Knives Out mysteries. So Daniel Craig is in it, which he was hilarious in the first Knives Out mystery movie. And if you've not seen that, it's really worth watching. I don't know if this one will be. It's the Benoit Blanc stories, the investigator. He's like this Sherlock Holmesy type guy. So in this one, he travels to a small church in upstate New York where a murder that defies all logic sets the detective on his most personal case to date. Might be good. And then on Netflix, the season premiere of Home for Christmas. And the Family Film and TV Awards are on CBS. I can't think of anything else. Isn't the season finale of Welcome to Derry this weekend? I think it's the season finale. If it's not this weekend, the next weekend is the season finale. Let me tell you guys, I don't know if you watched the episode or if you're watching Welcome to Derry on HBO Max. Last weekend's episode was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. So they've been really delving into why the creature of it represents himself as a clown. And they did a pretty good job of sticking to the Stephen King original storyline on this, of the guy who is named Bob Gray and how Pennywise adopted his persona and why he adopted his persona. One of the things he said was, the kids seem drawn to you. So he had a confrontation with this Bob Gray character, who was a guy who played a clown in traveling sideshow circuses back in the 1920s, 30s. And this little kid meets him outside of his wagon dressing room one night, and they have a conversation, and the little kid is really it. And he says to him, the children seem drawn to you, and you can see he's kind of studying him. Well, a few minutes later, Bob Gray's dead out in the woods, and now it is dressing and taking on the persona of Pennywise, the dancing clown, in an effort to draw the children to him so he can consume them. And there is this one deal where he chops a guy's head off right here. You can see the tongue moving and everything after. It's so graphic. And then Pennywise proceeds to sit there and have a conversation with this guy's daughter, Bob Gray's daughter, while munching on that half of the head that he's cut off. Yeah, and that's just one of many, many wonderful scenes that happen throughout the movie. There's a lot of Pennywise in that last episode. Paper Moon. Paper Moon. Have I seen that? What is Paper Moon? Okay, what's the synopsis? Oh, that's interesting. Paper Moon. Okay, so the man and the woman, or the man and the little girl in that movie, they're really father and daughter. That's Ryan O'Neal playing the father, and that's Tatum O'Neal, his daughter, playing, what's the name of the little girl? Moses? Addie. Moses and Addie. I don't think I've ever seen that. What year is that from? 1973? Yeah, he tries to sell her to a guy, doesn't he? Yeah, I might look that up. Sounds good, Christy. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for Christmas with Chris Young. And we're wanting to know, what is the funniest or strangest thing that you've ever heard a kid say? 623-1025 to text or tell us. Here's Dirk Bentley on KIX 102.5. You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. That him just, he's just kind of not even thinking about it, really. He's talking to this woman who is the descended daughter of the Bob Gray guy, and he's saying things to her, and he leans over, never taking his eyes off her, and takes a bite out of the top part of that head, and you can see the brains and everything. It's just crazy. Man vs. Baby is the name of the show. Yeah, Megan. The Rowan Atkinson Show. And it's the kind of thing that your kids could watch. So what the story is all around, somebody leaves this baby. He works as a caretaker at this school. And somebody brings a baby by and just drops off there. And through a series of mishaps, the baby gets overlooked by everyone else except for the Rowan Atkinson character. And he ends up stuck with it, and everybody else is leaving for their Christmas plans and everything. Next thing you know, and he has a holiday job assignment where he's house sits in these really nice houses in London, and he gets assigned to one. Well, he has to take the baby with him, and he sneaks it in his backpack, and the owners never realize that he has a baby with him. And the next thing you know, the baby's stuck with him over the holiday season in this house that he's house sitting, and he ends up having to take care of it while trying to find social services and get them to claim the baby. And again, you got to suspend a lot of belief for some of the things that happen, but it's funny, kind of slapstick funny. Paper Moon. I need to write that down, Christy. You've got me intrigued on it. Oh, my goodness. There were other things in that movie. So he captures this one guy. So whenever it captures, they think of him kind of like a spider, because oftentimes he will get a person in their most terrified state, and he will put them in suspended animation for that. And they kind of float. We all float down here. That's what that's representative of. But the way he does that is by making them stare into the deadlights. That's what these kids have named it. So his head flips open, and there's these lights spinning around way back in the back of his mouth. It looks like another galaxy. And they immediately, their eyes go white, and they begin to float. And then he carries them away to his lair so he can eat them later. And he does that a few times in this. But when his mouth flips open and all the teeth are in there. Yeah. KIX KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen, 8:34. It's going to be a little cloudy today, and highs are going to be up to around 41, but it's only 30 right now in Joplin. Got the Morning KIX Takeover starting in 15 minutes. Perfect way to kick off your weekend with your favorite song, and you still got time to go make your song picks on the KIX app or the KIX website before we start playing them back in about 15 minutes. But we're talking about the weirdest or funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say, out of context or for however. 623-1025 to text or tell us yours. What's the weirdest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
My mom was watching my nephew, who was about 2.5 years old at the time, running errands, and my nephew, Austin, was in the back seat, and he talked super fast, and my mom says, Austin, Grandma cannot understand what you're saying when you talk so fast. You need to slow down. And so my nephew goes, okay, Grandma. What I said was, son of a that's a big truck.
Well, it was a big truck.
My mom about ran into another truck.
I bet. Where did you... That's the question. Where did they learn how to say that? 623-1025. What's the funniest or weirdest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
My cousin went to the first day of kindergarten. The teacher said, Mike, do you know how to spell your name? And he said, my God, lady, I've only been here 10 minutes.
What sort of expectations did she have? I would have put it right back at her, said, no, you've not been doing your job. What's the funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say?
Well, my son, when he was in kindergarten, had gotten this puppy. And one morning, we was trying to find the puppy, and I couldn't find it. And Justin comes out of his room and hands on the side of his hips and goes, well, it sure in my room. And I just looked at him and went, okay then.
He had to get his point across. Yeah, he was clarifying that fact.
Yeah, matter of factly.
I wonder where he learned that word.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, little monkey see, monkey do, monkey say. What's the funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say?
My grandson, when he was in preschool, he was about 3 years old. It was Martin Luther King's birthday.
Yeah.
He came out, and I said, do you know what today is? And he said, yeah, Martin Luther King's birthday. And I said, do you know who Martin Luther King is? And he said, yeah, that's Miss Pam's brother.
What? Who's Miss Pam?
Miss Pam was his preschool teacher.
I'm not following. Why did she think Martin Luther King was her...
Because the teacher was calling him Brother Martin Luther King. So he said, yeah, that's Miss Pam's brother.
What is the funniest or weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say? You can text or tell us at 623-1025 or tell us on Facebook. It's the 4 states #1 for country, KIX 102.5. Missouri, your moment is finally here. Brother Martin Luther. Hi there, Morning KIX. What is the funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say?
How are you?
Good. What's the funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
I believe the funniest thing I've ever heard come out of a kid's mouth was, hey, Grandma, whose ass am I going to have to whoop to get a drink of water around this place?
Nice. Good parenting. That's what that is.
She was like 3.5, almost 4.
Yeah, that's just good parenting.
I couldn't spank her because she couldn't quit laughing.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, he wasn't hearing us, I guess. Is this...
You did ask, you know. When they look at me too, so I can.
Okay, I've got the next 4. Ready to go. I was looking, what else is in the news? Oh, did you hear about Andy Dick? So everybody remembers comedian Andy Dick. I never thought he was that funny. He was a figure on MTV primarily during the late 90s, early 2000s. They found him suffering an apparent drug overdose on the streets of Hollywood, just laying on the street as a fast-acting passersby administered Narcan to him. He's a convicted sex offender. 59 years old and was seen unconsciously slumped over, sitting on a concrete staircase, leaning on a wall outside of a building. He was limp and unresponsive as a man attempted to prop him up while his distinctive rectangular glasses sat on the ground in front of him. People screamed for him to wake up while others called for an ambulance. He did regain consciousness with the Narcan just as first responders from the fire and police departments arrived. He refused additional treatment or to be transported to a hospital. Sounds like that situation's probably just a matter of time. It's a shame. Oh, y'all remember my living room table, which we've not talked about in a long time because since Greg found the one for me and I went to work on it and refinished it, which I never did ask what you thought of my refinished job when you were there on Thanksgiving, Greg. I don't know if you even noticed it. Anyway, since then, we've not even really thought about it a lot. Well, on Wednesday, the guy who's been working on it for the past year contacted me and said, hey, your table's going to be done this week. And at first I was like, what table? And then I remembered and I'm like, oh, really? And he said, yep, we just did the final coat of clear coat and we're going to do a light sand and a polish on it and I'll be bringing it to you early next week. And I'm like, should I take the other table off the frame and hide it somewhere, So, yeah, a year later. I thought it came out really well. I really believe maybe a few more coats, 4 or 5 more coats of clear coat, because it's not really uniformly smooth across the top because of how much damage there was to the tabletop. But I was so nervous that it would screw up, and I can always add more if I choose to, and I figure I'll eventually have to because that table goes through a lot of wear and tear. I was just really leery about doing anything else to it. Now, if I get this other table back and it's good, I can put it on and go to work on that other one, so I've got a spare. So what he ended up doing to this table was, because it was damaged, he had damaged it in the refinish when they were sanding it down. He damaged the laminate to such a degree that it made the table unusable. Great. So anyway, he said, what I want to do is I want to replace the damaged areas with real wood, with real oak, instead of the laminate. He couldn't get a laminate that would work. It's on a curved surface. It would have been nearly impossible to do. So the outer edge, there's a board that goes all the way around the parquet center. And he replaced all of that with actual oak. And to make it fit properly, because it would not, the centerpiece, the center parquet was not square. It's kind of rounded, and it made it very hard to match that up evenly. It would not glue tight to it. He decided to do an epoxy line as a joint between the real wood and the laminate wood. And the epoxy joint doesn't look bad. I've got a picture of it if you guys want to see it. It's different. I don't know that I like it better than what we have. So he sent this the other day of it finished. So you see that black stripe line, that's the epoxy that joins. And the outer board around the outside edge is real wood, which will make it stronger, more durable. That wood being on the outside edge there will withstand a lot more traffic and damage and abuse than the laminate would. And then I don't know that I necessarily mind the black line, especially since black is kind of our accent, for the house. There it is again. Yeah, it's finally going into focus. So, and it looks a lot darker in that picture because they had just put the finish on and it hadn't had the chance to cure yet. I think it looks all right. I mean, for comparison's sake, let me show you. Let me ding dong. What the heck? This is what mine looks like. So it's got a wood strip in that. Oh my gosh. Stupid camera. Yeah, you can't see it. And that's so stupid because I've got my phone so dark right now. It's almost off. There, you can see it. So same thing, just plain wood. And that stripe is still there on the table. Just on this one, it's made out of wood. I asked him, I said, why didn't you take, to me, rather than using epoxy or something dark like that, just take sawdust from all your sanding and everything of this wood and mix it with wood glue and use that to pour into that area. But what do I know? Okay, guys, on Monday, hope you have a great weekend, by the way, but on Monday, we're going to be talking about which Christmas song can you absolutely not stand. I think we've had enough Christmas music now that we've got a few that are already beginning to poke us in the ear with an ice pick. So we want to know, what is the Christmas song that you hate the most? Mariah Carey's going to be my top one. Either that or the whole grandma got run over by a reindeer thing, which thankfully we do not play here on KIX. We did when I started here, but over the years, somehow, it magically disappeared from the whole playlist. I don't know how that happened. To you, MJ?
I've got an idea.
MJ's here. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Here's Max McNone on KIX 102.5. Do you have your white elephant gift ready for today? What'd you get? Can you tell? Is it good? I'll tell you mine. Okay. Mine's. Well, you got to tell me yours first.
Why?
Because that's the way it goes.
Age before beauty.
But I said, tell me yours first because I said it first. Okay. That's the way it works. It's whoever speaks up first, right? No. Mine is a little desktop. One of the guys that does this, Oh, yeah, on a desktop, and a coloring book that features the people of Walmart. And 2 of the cut pictures are already colored in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I just got a magic bullet.
Oh, that's awesome. How did you, aren't those pricey?
They used to be.
They're not anymore?
One on a deal.
Wow. A magic bullet. Well, I'm going to remember that. I'll look for that. There's no way you can plan this white elephant thing because when you get something, someone can steal it from you.
So, Bobby Bones is doing their radiothon right now.
Oh, yeah?
The new St. Jude shirt. Now, I don't know if this is just...
For them?
For them, or if this is actually what... But if you become a partner in hope, that's the shirt you get. What's it say? Pimp and joy. I'm like...
Surely not. Surely not. There's too big of an audience that wouldn't understand that.
I don't know, man.
But he's an idiot. Does he not know his demo? I like it. I think it's awesome.
great.
I like the camo.
Yeah, it looks cool.
So
It's tight. So.
we're talking about St. Jude Radiothon shirts, and apparently we have seen some instances of shirts that are being given out by St. Jude that are a brown camo, and across the front it says "Pimp and Joy." Seriously, I don't. That might be a big motivator. I'd like to have one of those.
No kidding.
Pimp and Joy. Who's Joy? Why isn't she making that money?
On her own.
Yeah. And that,
We got to do the work.
isn't that the Christmas season they talk about spreading joy? Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, that's not what I meant. You dirty-minded people.
Wash your mouth out.
What?
Wash your mouth out.
Yeah, you guys. KIX 102.5, the 4 states #1 for country. Morning KIX with Randy and Jen. It's going to be cloudy today with highs around 41, and it's 30 right now in Joplin. We got the Morning KIX takeover starting in just 6 minutes, so you still got time to go on the KIX app or the KIX website and make your song picks for the song to kick off your weekend before we start playing it back. But we're talking today about the funniest or weirdest thing that you've ever heard a kid say. Your kid, someone else's kid. What are you doing with someone else's kid, by the way? You know, it's totally out of context. What is the weirdest or funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
My son told my mom one time that his underwear
listen to
wouldn't
this.
fit him because his pee-pee is too big.
You know what? You probably better keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, only 4 years old.
And his dad's going, yeah, that's right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I wonder where he heard. Yeah, Dad taught him that. Dad definitely taught him that. MJ, did you ever say anything? Oh, to have a relative like that, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
My baby brother, when he was about 3, we were having dinner, and he looked at my dad and said, "Dad, puppies cry when they look at you."
What? Puppies cry when they look at you?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they actually do when they look at me, too, so I kind of get it. What is the funniest thing that you've ever heard a kid say?
We were at church one day. My daughter was acting up while I was talking to the preacher and his wife, and I looked over at her and I said, "So what's worse than a butt whooping?" And she flat out goes, "An ass whooping," really loud.
You did ask, you know.
Yeah.
She knows. And the whole choir went, Amen. What is the craziest, funniest thing you've ever heard a kid say?
Well, I picked him up from kindergarten. We were driving along, and he looked up in the sky, and he said, "Well, I guess it's going to be a full moon tonight." I was like, "Why's that, Richie?" He said, "Because half of it's already up there."
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just logic. It makes sense. It's got an early start. What's the funniest or craziest thing you've ever heard a kid say? You can tell us on Facebook, or you can text us at 623-1025, and we've got the Morning KIX takeover starting in just 4 minutes on the 4 states #1 for country, KIX 102.5. All right.
When me and Lindsay's mom split up, I used to go over to her house.
Uh-huh.
She would leave, go do her errands, whatever, and I'd spend the afternoon or whatnot with Lindsay. She's probably 2 or 3 at this point in time. We're getting ready to watch a movie, so I tell her go pick out a movie. She walks over to where her movies are and stops in the middle, turns around, "Dad, quit your bitching and moaning." I'm like, I couldn't do anything because I was laughing too hard.
Yep. Well, you've all heard, like, it wasn't something she said, but I, at one point in time, thought it would be hilarious to teach Lauren. She's a year and a half old, okay? And she started talking at, like, 8 months and never shut up after that. But she's a year and a half old, and I showed her how to moon someone. I was like, you know, got her to practice it and everything, pulling trowel, you know. And I said, now, go into your mama and do that. And she did. And it was hilarious. And her mom's like, you need to stop doing that. That's going to come back and bite us on the butt, figuratively. And I thought it was hilarious. So I'd say, go do it again. Go do it again. And I'd give her a piece of candy. So later that weekend, she went to do grocery shopping at Walmart and everything. And Lauren did it to a total stranger in the store, and her mom was so mad. She come back home. I couldn't breathe. I'm laughing so hard. I thought it's funny. She's like, it's not funny. She goes, if you had to deal with it, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I thought it was hilarious. Next day, we go to church. And at the end of the service, they're lining out. It's not a big church then that we went to then. It was a little small place. Only had about 50, 60 people went there. But they would all line out by the door, and the preacher would shake hands with everybody. He's an old guy named Glenn Murray, old white-haired guy and everything. And I'm way back in the line, but I see my daughter about 8, 10 people up in front of me, and she is talking to him at the doorway, and he's bent over, shaking her hand, listening to her, and she's blah, 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 blah. I can see. All of a sudden, I see her turn around and lean forward, and I swear it's like one of those, no! I knew what was happening. I began to try to get by people to get up there and stop her, and could not. She drops trowel on him, and he's back. It's almost like the Magruder film from the JFK assassination. The head goes back and everything. And I finally get up there and pick her up. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I don't know where she learns this. I blame it on her mother. And he's laughing. He's like, it's been a long time since that's not the first time that's happened to me. Never at church, but yeah. So I had to explain to her, no, you can't do that anymore. That's my bad for teaching you. And her mom's like, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you?
You know how Jen gets all bent out of shape when you go,
yeah.
Well, I taught her kids how to do that. So they would just randomly do that.
Yep, that's funny. Megan loves that too. All right, guys, hope you have a great weekend. Monday, we'll talk about the Christmas song. Yes, Christy mentioned Dear Mr. Jesus. We will play that song on Monday.
Let's do it.
That's my favorite. If you've not heard Dear Mr. Jesus, which is the child abuse Christmas song, it's so festive. We're going to play that on Monday, as well as any other obnoxious one that we can find. We will feature too, to get them out of the way and then not have to listen to them again this year.
You going to play the Christmas shoes?
Christmas shoes is another bad one. Yeah, got to play that. What's the Christmas camel or Christmas llama song that Jen made us aware of a year or two ago? We'll have to play that too.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll do all those on Monday. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye-bye now.